tonight, John Dawkins.
Welcome back. Well, he's still talking to me, Keith. He's not that old a fox. I was just joking. How are you?
I'm well, thanks. I think it's preferable to be an old fox than a young devil, Bruce.
That's the first time I've been called a young devil in ages, Keith. keep it up. What about yesterday, the Castlemaine? Bit of a surprise. Prince Troyalia joining Black Onyx as the only horses to have won the race in consecutive years.
Yes, it was a surprise on the day, as you mentioned, a 25-to-1 chance yesterday, Prince Troyalia. But he did it last year, and like the big sprint in Adelaide, there was a sense of deja vu because the Quinella in the Goodwood Handicap at Morphettville was the same as last year also, but this time they switched order.
Yes, quite remarkable there with Crush and also the runner-up Beau George flashing home, and we'll talk about the Goodwood in a moment. The good horses that went into the Castlemaine yesterday didn't really fire. With Me, who'd won the Oakley Plate, Lightning Ben. I guess in With Me's case, she's not really a 1,350-metre horse, is she?
No, probably not, and I think it has been quite a long campaign for her. She won the Oakley Plate down here, and that was quite some time ago now. She needs a break, and I'm sure she'll get one. And
the other horse, St Jude, who went out favourite in a wide betting race, ran a reasonable race. He just missed the place.
Yes, track rain affected. He was a ring drifter for that likely reason, and I think he is better on the dry going. It
was the first time he was beaten in Queensland. Let's go to Doomben yesterday. It's one of the very big sprints in Australian racing, the Castlemaine.
And as they come down the side with 7.50 to go, Gypsy Rogue shows the way, a length in front, Be Able second. With Me is third, but she's trapped deep. Arc Regal next on the inside, followed by Lightning Bend and Tiny Sfinito, then the bullfighter Dan Jiki. Back behind them on the rails is St Jude. Barossa Boy sweeping right around the field. Cometal going through in the centre, Regent Diamond, Marimbula Bay, Count on Ray. Then Thrifty Reserve, Plush Embassy's well back with Prince Troyalia, and Don't Play has dropped out last. In the home straight, 300 metres to go. Gypsy Rogue joined on the outside by With Me, and here comes Barossa Boy. He's dropping from the clouds on the outside. He's gone to them. Tiny Sfinito now into second place. Marimbula Bay and Prince Troyalia's running on. Barossa Boy in front of Tiny Sfinito. Prince Troyalia's coming at them hard, and he's going to do it again. He's going to win 2 10,000s in a row. Prince Troyalia beat Barossa Boy. Tiny Sfinito third.
Strange, Keith, that horses over the years seem to perform their best at certain times of the year.
Yeah, that's true. Often, if you look at the records, that horses have won a race on multiple occasions. That horse, no one wanted him as a yearling. He was, in fact, given away by his owner to a friend. So he's won some money now, and that will be his last start for his present trainer. He's going to be Queensland-based from now on.
Now, the Chairman's Handicap, Gameen was in the market here. Comrade was sent out favourite, Just a Dancer. This was a build-up race to the Brisbane Cup that's coming up on the June long weekend. Majestic Boy, his form in Sydney had been pretty good, and it was no surprise to see him do well yesterday.
Yes, it was an excellent run, and he's looming as a favourite for some richer rewards, I think, Bruce. It was quite a good field yesterday and a good race too.
Yeah, let's have a look at the Chairman's. Note that Just a Dancer gets home very strongly behind the place getters in this race.
Look at them pack as they approach the home turn. They've got 450 metres to go. Jondal are under pressure from Greenback, Magnolia Hall, and Cool Credit right around the field. Cookie's gone for him, and Cool Credit slipped up and he's poked his nose in front. Majestic Boy getting into the clear, coming after Cool Credit, then Comrade and Just a Dancer wide. Cool Credit in front, 200 metres out. Majestic Boy swept up and he's raced to the front. Coconut Ice getting clear, coming after Majestic Boy. Majestic Boy, he shot away. He's a length in front of Coconut Ice. Yes, he's too good, Majestic Boy, and punch right out. It's Majestic Boy going to the line to win. Coconut Ice second, Cool Credit third.
Not sure what they'd run Majestic Boy, and he's not really a Brisbane Cup horse, is he? Maybe the Forex Cup, or the Doomben Cup as it used to be known.
Yeah, that might be more suitable, but I do agree with you that Just a Dancer was the eye-catching run of the race, wide for most of the trip, and ran on pretty well, didn't he?
He did run on very well. Speaking of Queensland, tomorrow there's a $1 million race on the Gold Coast with Bold Promise engaged against Sade. I think Superimposed might be going around too. There's a $400,000 race.
Big lineup of big names there, Triscay and co. The Gold Coast hasn't been blessed with good weather for this meeting, so let's hope that eases for them, because they do have some of the cream of Australian thoroughbreds there, Bruce.
Want a tip?
No, I've got one for you later in the Adelaide Cup, though, but you're going to give me one now.
Sade to beat Bold Promise.
Sade to beat Bold Promise, OK.
OK, just
take a note of that.
Write that one down, Keith. Money back guaranteed. Let's go to Adelaide, the Goodwood Handicap. You mentioned earlier that it was the same Quinella as last year, reversed this time, Crush defeating Beau George. I can remember Crush winning the Herald Vase as a 3-year-old for Lloyd Williams and being one of the favourites for the Derby, and now he wins the Goodwood about 3 years later.
Oh, he's been everywhere. He's been up to Darwin. He was bought out of a Sporting Globe advertisement, obviously when Lloyd Williams culled his stock. For $60,000, he went to Darwin and raced everywhere. And yesterday he went one better than last year when he finished second to Beau George. Greg Hall tried to get the placings back to last year by lodging a protest, but stewards tossed that out. I think perhaps the stake money influenced Greg's decision to protest.
Well, the horse flashed home, Bo George, but
and only just missed.
He did, and then Paklani just missed the places. The favourite from Perth had been freshened up for this race. She's a good filly. Maybe a length and a half short of the absolute tops, isn't she?
Yeah, she was wide most of the way also.
Yeah, and Welcome Night hasn't fired a shot, has he? The South Australian horse who was odds on last week against Clays and again in the market yesterday.
Yes, he's been very disappointing, really. Ken Russell, who rode the winner, he's had very few rides in Adelaide. In fact, only 2 wins there. He won on Clays, the horse you mentioned last week, and yesterday he won the big sprint.
And there was one other interesting runner before we look at the replay, King's High, who was a big tip in the morning, and he just missed the placings, and the thought is they'll probably retire him to start at this stage.
Yes, I think a bit of planning had gone into that race as to be a first up and maybe a farewell crack for King's High. I don't know whether he'll race again, but he's done well, hasn't he? A Derby winner.
He sure has, and the Australian Guineas. OK, let's go to Morfordville. Crush gets a big lead in the straight. Watch Bo George flash home at him.
As they turn at the 600-metre mark, a line of about 4 here, and out wide it's the Fount. Inside of it, What a Shindig. Inside of it, in turn, Squire Grey, and down on the rail, Lonely Dreamer. Richmond Boy tracks it up. Alisham was looking for a run. Welcome Night likewise, and wider out Paklani getting into it, and here's Crush. Crush is starting to storm home out wide. So they race to the 250, and Crush has swept to the lead in the Goodwood. He's dashed away, and as they race down with 150 to go, the interest is going to be in the minors. It's Crush clear. Here's Bo George swarming home out wide. Crush is stopping, but Bo George I don't think's going to get him. No, Crush has won. Bo George second, My Version got third.
Yes, and when you look at the slow motion replay, there was only a bob of the head at the end. Greg Hall almost getting Bo George up there.
Top performance by the trainer too, Paula Grove. She's she's only a young girl, and she did very well, and she's engaged to Adelaide-based jockey Ron Barron, who couldn't make yesterday's weight. That's why Ken Russell was in the saddle for her fiancé.
Well, that's good news for Ken and good for Paula. The South Australian Oaks was one of the other feature events. This race has had a resurgence in the last couple of years. There are 2 Oaks races in Adelaide, the Australasian, which is more famous, and the SA. They were going to take the Group 1 status, I think, off the South Australian Oaks, but yesterday's field was the best they've had for years.
Yes, it had good and bad news. It was won by a very talented staying mare and a staying filly, but the sad news, Bruce, was that All Mine, the Sydney filly, was destroyed after she broke down, and nothing could be done to save her, which is extremely sad.
She was a brave little thing, wasn't she? So
sure.
that did end the race on a very sad note. It was a thrilling finish. A couple of horses went out with a big lead. When we picked them up, Lee's Bid, the eventual winner, is last, and it is a very big performance to win.
At the 800, the leader is Ina's Way, 2.5 Vasadania, only 3 away. Volcanic sprints up quickly. Going with it is Jovan, Daughters Charm and Our Twig. They're gobbling up these leaders. Back in behind them, Special Sculpture, and then came Mirror Magic. Lee's Bid from last. Over on the inside of those as All Mine has been eased out of the race. Something's gone amiss with All Mine. She's been pulled up out of the race. As they turn at the 400-metre mark, Ina's Way kicked a couple in front. Second placing on the outside now, Volcanic, still there, Vasadania. Special Sculpture getting into the clear, and the Western Australian Mirror Magic joins in. Lee's Bid is bumping, trying to get a run, the little filly. They're across the track. The Western Australian Mirror Magic reached the lead. Brighton Dolly is trying to cut her down. Lee's Bid, this bonny little filly, is sprinting home like a gazelle. She'll bowl them. Lee's Bid, oh gee, she's tiny, but she's got a massive heart. She's won from Brighton Dolly, or on the inside, Mirror Magic.
I think that form will stand up pretty well. Lee's Bid's off to Queensland to take Triscay on in the Oaks up there. That's going to be one of the highlights of the winter.
Well, there was little between them in the AJC Oaks, so it's going to be a beauty. That was a 3-state finish, with Dye winning his first Oaks on the now Sydney-based winner. Melbourne's Brighton Dolly was second, and the Perth filly, Mirror Magic, who was the first filly to win the WA Derby for 25 years, making it an all-state trifecta, and the home state being squeezed out.
Yes, South Australia not in the first 3 there. Lee's Bid, Triscay, they're very different horses. Triscay's got tremendous acceleration and great class, and the other one's a real staying. In fact, you know, Lee's Bid, oh, dare I say it, she might be a Melbourne Cup hope.
Well, she's her dad, her stallion, Torfik, sired Terrific, who won a Melbourne Cup, but shall we put her in your Melbourne Cup list of horses to follow?
Leave her off for the minute, Keith. It's a very long list, isn't it? You probably haven't got any room.
No, it's a scroll.
Takes a long time to write it and longer to read it. Let's have a look at the Tobin Bronze. Now, Pressman's Choice, I'm not going to put him on the list, but he's a good horse and he won comfortably yesterday. Let's have a look at Pressman's Choice winning the Tobin Bronze. Ideal Centre Man's also in this race, and see what you think from an Adelaide Cup point of view. That race is on tomorrow.
400 metres from home. Star of Marquis, Lene Von, and now Eastern Classic. And here's Pressman's Choice winding up. Off the record, joins in, followed by Ideal Sentiment. But Pressman's Choice reached the lead, 220 out from Eastern Classic. They're clear then of Off the Record. Ideal Sentiment runs on nicely. Pressman's Choice in front, though, in the concluding stages. Second placing held down by Eastern Classic. They were followed then by Off the Record, but it's Pressman's Choice for the biscuits. He got home a length and a half Off the Record. Far removed, may have got third just in front of Eastern Classic.
Here's Ideal Centre Man not far behind them. Keith, we'll get a selection for the Adelaide Cup in a moment. The big race in America this morning was the Preakness Stakes. This is the second leg of the Triple Crown. You've got the Kentucky Derby, which is a fortnight ago, then the Preakness, and then followed in a fortnight's time by the Belmont Stakes. Strike the Gold, who'd won the Kentucky Derby, was the favourite today. It's only happened a couple of hours ago. Let's go to Baltimore and Maryland for the running of the 116th Preakness Stakes.
As they move to the top of the stretch, and Hansel taking command by 2 lengths. Here comes Best Pal, roaring up on the outside into the second spot. Corporate Report drops back third. Olympio at the rail is fourth. And down the stretch they come. Hansel in front by 3 lengths. On the outside, Best Pal. Corporate Report toward the rail. Main Minister and Olympio. And as they come to the 16th pole, all alone, it's Hansel showing the way now by 6 lengths. Corporate Report is second. Here's the finish of the Preakness. It's Hansel winning it by 5.5.
Yes, Hansel bolting in there, the race worth $800,000 over 1,800 metres, and Strike the Gold finishing out of the placings. What about the Adelaide Cup tomorrow? It looks the toughest field for a long time.
I know who you're going to select. One of your Melbourne Cup choices.
Yeah, the #1 Melbourne Cup choice, Shiva's Revenge. I think he'll win. 3-year-olds have got a big advantage at this time of the year, and I think he can stay and stay very well.
Well, I think it's going to be a Bolter's Cup. I think that the New Zealand-based mare, she was formerly with Bart Cummings' Tiakoa Pearl, will win at big odds. She's to be ridden by Greg Childs, and this time last year, she was my Melbourne Cup tip.
What happened to her?
She went wrong, but she's firing in New Zealand. I think she'll win the Cup at double-figure odds tomorrow.
And there does look a good thing there with Hugh Clays in the big 3-year-old race. This is Rubiton's brother. It'll be a shock to see him beaten. Can we agree on him?
Well, because we agree, I'm going to leave you on that note, Bruce.
OK, Keith. We both go for Hugh Clays. See who's right or wrong next Sunday when Keith returns with racing. We'll take a break.